Well, hello. I am greeting Team Galloway for week number 2 in April. We've got 1 week down. It's April 10th, which really means we're 1/3 of the way through the journey. So I know that my team's doing well. I'm just thrilled. And so how could some of you share how you're feeling? Like, are you getting better sleep? Do you have more energy? Or is there something noteworthy you want to share about being 10 days in on this journey?
Well, I'm not doing too well today because I worked too hard yesterday and today.
Well, and are you giving yourself some rest time in between working hard? Some rest periods?
Yeah.
Okay. And are you drinking enough fluids?
Yeah.
I mean, but when you're working, sometimes if we're working outside in the garden or whatever, sometimes we can kind of overlook properly hydrating ourselves. So when we're working hard, we need to even drink more water. So anyway.
Brookshires ought to give me a discount on toilet paper.
You are a hoot. Okay. Now, Ruth Lampe, is there something you want to share being 1/3 of the way in on this month's Healthy Games?
I am finally getting to where it is not a struggle to get down 80 ounces of water.
Yay!
And I'm happy about that.
Yay! Okay.
It's not really all that difficult anymore.
Uh-huh.
In fact, some days I get more than that. Plus, I do drink other things. I drink a little decaf coffee now and then and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. How about you, Melissa? Is there something noteworthy you'd like to share about this particular round?
Mm-hmm. Well, for whatever reason, I thought maybe because it was a little bit slower towards the end of last time, I wasn't losing weight, super lots of weight. And so I thought, I even, to be honest, contemplated whether or not I was going to do this challenge because I thought since I'm so close, man, am I going to be able to lose 3%? And man, was I shocked when I got on the scale Tuesday and I lost already in 1 week 2.81%. And I think it's because I lost over 3 pounds this last week, 3.4 pounds or something. And I think it's because this last week I really worked on getting in another glass of water first thing when I wake up. I make sure I have 20 ounces of water first thing when I wake up within the first 20 to 30 minutes. I make sure I get that first glass of water in, and I wasn't doing that. And then I've been increasing the running, so I'm sure that's a huge part of it. And as I told Pamela earlier on the phone, I couldn't think of a good reason not to. I actually, a while ago, I registered. Instead of waiting to do my first 5K with the girls, I'm doing my first 5K here in Quitman tomorrow morning. Hey. And I am so excited. I'm nervous, but I'm so excited. And I tell you, before I started this in January, I would have never in a million years thought that I could even probably walk 3 miles, much less try to run. And just the support that from the Healthy Challenge and Pamela and everybody and all the good, wonderful, healthy tips I've learned they've been life-changing for me. And I'm very thankful.
Isn't that huge? That is huge, huge. Wow. And, I heard the emotion in your voice when you were talking about when you started in January, you couldn't even imagine running a 5K, and no doubt you couldn't imagine losing the weight as effectively as you have been. I knew you had a big why. I mean, the why is the trip to London, Paris, and Wales. I'd be pretty motivated too. Pammy loves to travel. Let me tell you. Just call me up and I'll pack my toothbrush. I love it. But I'm just so thrilled for you.
I'm excited. I'm thankful. I'm very thankful.
Mm-hmm. And as I hear people in Northeast Texas say, "I'm so proud for you." Isn't that something they say here? I mean, instead of saying they're proud of you, they'll say, "Well, I'm so proud for you."
Yep.
So anyway, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that it's that meaningful to you and it's that life changing. And I want to let you guys know that Karen Piper called me ahead of time, saying she regretted she couldn't meet with us. She had a business dinner that she does taxes, and so she's pretty preoccupied with servicing her clients. And anyway, but she let me know she lost over 3 pounds a week, like 3.5. And that's awesome because, she has a cracked patella, a kneecap. And so she's unable to do the typical walking that she normally would do. So she's had to minimize her physical activity. But again, whether you have a knee injury or whether you have difficulty being on your feet, there are things we can do sitting down. There's like different YouTube. Well, first of all, on our Meltdown Challenge in the resource area, we have some videos that we've had in prior challenges where we got points for clicking on these videos. And a number of them are on your arms, something you can do sitting down. So that's one resource. And I imagine you can probably find something like Sit and Stretch. I think that's the name of an exercise program. You can probably find something like that online, maybe in a YouTube form. So, it's really more about activity. I mean, did you notice this week they talked about NEAT, N-E-A-T, NEAT activity? And so that's non-exothermic, activity thermogenesis or something like that. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis, meaning instead of something formal like walking or running or going to the gym, there are little things that we can each do every day, like park a little further from Brookshire's, or take the cart back to the store. Just little ways that we can add. And I know Karen is very intentional about this. She will intentionally use the printer from the far side of her building. She'll send something to the printer. Instead of the one that's closest to her desk, she'll go to the far side of the building. Or she'll go to the far side of the building to get water. And so she's been very intentional in very small ways, but very consistent. And so that has helped her a lot. So, well, does anybody, I guess I do want to mention that, it is the 10th of April. If you have any friends that want to join us, they can join all the way up until the 14th. Now, they would have just 2 weeks, so, they may want to be in the maintain range, because to maintain, that would be not gaining any more than 1%, but they could lose up to 2%. So continue to invite friends, and even if they don't join us in April, they may join you in May, because sometimes it takes a few invitations for someone to think about it. And, when you have, yes, go ahead, Ruth.
I've already got 2 for sure and 1 other maybe for May. So
really, who's coming in May?
Help me, Linda. Becky
Crump.
Crump, yes.
Okay.
We have a ladies kind of fitness support group at church that meets on Friday mornings.
Okay.
We were talking to her about it this morning, so I have already invited her, but she lives with her dad, and he's had some health problems, so she's had to be with him a lot.
Okay.
And so May's going to be better for her.
Mm-hmm.
I have another friend who she babysits for her daughter in Tyler, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her to see if she could join this month, so she will probably wait till next month.
Right. Well, and that's fine.
Then I have another one that will probably be joining.
Well, that's great.
So,
I'm thrilled. The more the merrier, and it's always more fun to do this with a buddy. And a number of people have done it with their daughters. I mean, like Melissa and her daughter were in the March, and Karen and her daughter were in the January, and let's see, Kim and her mother were in the. Was that January? I'm getting confused. Yeah, January. So from time to time we have mother-daughter pairs. It'd be kind of fun to have some sisters. For those of you that have sisters, I mean, I've got 4 brothers, no sisters. So,
well, my mother is long gone, of course. Well, not all that long, but anyway, 5 years ago, she died at age 102.
Wow.
And I never have had a sister or a daughter, so I'm kind of by myself over here. So I have friends.
So knowing that your mother lived to be 102, does that motivate you to
take care of my body?
Take
Right.
care of yourself to be fit as long as possible?
I figure I've got another 25 years or so to go.
Okay. All righty. Let's see. Was there something that someone wanted to share? I think a couple of people started to share some non-scale victories on the wall this week. Is there someone here that wants to share a non-scale victory?
I just bought 2 skirts and a dress in a smaller size this week.
Oh,
Yay!
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's a wonderful non-scale victory.
I don't know how long it's been since I was down to this size, so I was happy.
Yes.
Great.
And there's more to come, as you continue with this group, and continue to have this kind of support and keep walking forward in your journey to health. There's more to come. Okay. Let's see. Ann, did you have any non-scale victories this week?
Well, I have more energy,
Yes.
but I've been a little discomfort today, but I'll be all right tomorrow.
Yes. So you were telling me,
I've been prayed for.
and I understand you've been doing some physical work and you're a little sore. So, you may be burning some calories there. Anyway.
I had a non-scale victory Sunday. I just now remembered.
Okay.
I put on a pair of slacks that I hadn't worn in many months. And for the first time ever, including when I bought them, they were actually loose.
That's
So I said to my husband, I said, I guess I've lost some inches. And he said, well, I can tell. So
yes.
that was good.
Yes. And in fact, one day I was teaching, Melissa had me in to do some teaching there at the junior high, and she was showing me where her slacks were baggy. And I forgot to say this to you, Melissa, but I had a friend that used to say to me, like, there's a lot less of you there.
I've heard that recently.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's good news. Well, there's
Hey, Lisa.
Good to see you, Lisa. Hello.
Can you hear us, Lisa?
I think she's frozen.
Well, it looks like she's in her truck.
There
Hi,
she
Lisa,
is.
can you hear us?
I'm sorry. I'm visiting the family. I just came from visiting the triplet family that passed away, and I just wanted to get the last few minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, again, I'm sorry for their loss, and I'm glad you were able to visit them and comfort them last night and today. We were talking about some non-scale victories, and Ruth Lampy was just sharing how. Well, go ahead, you share it, Ruth. You do such a good.
I just put on a pair of pants that I hadn't had on in many months, and And they were looser than they were when I bought them even. So I'm happy.
Isn't that great? Okay. Let's see.
And Linda had bought some clothes a size smaller
Wow.
than she had been wearing. So that's good.
That's exciting. And let's see, Anne mentioned she has energy.
Okay.
More energy.
Mm-hmm. And do you have something to share, Melissa? Not right now? Okay.
Oh, well, this is not about wearing clothes, but today my boss bought donuts for everybody, and of course they get put in the counter in my office. So there's a box of 24 donuts, and I could smell my vice principal, Crystal, is sitting there next to me eating a blueberry donut, and it smelled so good. And she's like, you know, she wasn't trying to be mean, but she's like, you can eat one, just eat one. It's not going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you saw, I took a donut and I sat there for 30 minutes looking at it. And then I gave my boss half of it, and I thought, well, I'll just eat half, but which was still almost 200 calories. And I kept battling with that stupid half of a donut. I took one bite, and then I waited about 15 minutes, and then I took another bite, and then I finally decided it was victory, because I finally said, you know what? This does not taste good enough to be worth what I'm giving up. And I gave it to my office aide who gladly took it.
Well,
that was a victory. 2 bites of a whole donut.
yes. And didn't you, I think you posted something on our team wall.
I
The
did.
main wall, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels.
Skinny feels. That's right.
Now, I mean, I know that's a saying that people say skinny feels, but I personally am not going for skinny. I'm going for healthy. I'm going for
right. Same thing.
I'm building my health, but so nothing tastes as good
as healthy feels.
Healthy feels. Yeah,
Right.
I think I would put it that way. But you know, and I can't remember. I think it was Lisa I was talking to the other day. How, you know, sometimes you'll have an opportunity. You might be out to dinner and you go, oh, coconut cream pie, or, you know, something that, you know, you really, really like. And then you have it and you go, yeah, you know, it's not as good as I remember it. You know, it's kind of disappointing.
And it goes so fast.
The donut tasted like grease. After both bites, I just felt like I had grease on the roof of my mouth. Everyone kept saying it was just me, and it was probably because my taste have changed, because I just, it didn't taste good to me.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. And, you know, by the way, you know, we can have anything we want to eat. You know, we can have an occasional dessert. You know, we can choose. You know, Dr. A talks about stop, challenge, and choose. He also has shared, maybe you haven't seen it yet in the information, but the satisfaction you get from a dessert is really in the first 3-4 bites, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, when you're out to dinner with a bunch of friends, you can split a dessert, you know, 3 or 4 ways, really. You know, each of you have a spoon and just have a few bites. And then, you know, you have that satisfying feeling of having that dessert. And it's not enough sugar to really torpedo your progress. You know, do you understand what I mean? Because I know for myself, once I'm off sugar 2 or 3 weeks, I don't even crave it. But boy, if I open that Bluebell or something, it's almost like it's opening Pandora's box. I want more, more, more. So, so do you have something to share, Linda? Or were you talking about me?
We just got an email saying that one of the Bluebells that we bought is on the recall list. So that kind of takes the urge away.
Yeah. Oh, wow. But anyway, oh, goodness. Well, I just, you know, I know, yes, Ann.
I have a mini praise.
Okay.
I didn't eat with the group last night at Hand and Foot, but
Okay.
Linda had fixed a dessert that everybody was bragging on, and I ate 1 crumb.
One
And that's
crumb.
it. Just I wanted to taste, And
What?
I was satisfied.
Right. You can have a small taste. And, that's the other thing. As we are, we're choosing to eat healthy. We've made this commitment to ourselves because we're wanting to grow our health. Our family may not have made the same commitment, nor our extended family, or, there are going to be times when you're invited socially, you're going to want to participate socially. And I want to encourage people. I've heard people say,
find out.
Yeah.
Make it see she'll eat it.
Well, Linda, hey, there's Christina popping in. But anyway, I want to encourage you that whenever you have an opportunity to do something socially, remind yourself, we're eating for life.
Didn't see no chickens.
We're eating for good health of life. And Linda, can you mute yourself? Do you know how to do that?
No.
Okay. I don't. Let's see. Let me see if I know how to do this. Oh, I'm going to mute all. Okay. Okay, I have muted all, but you guys can hear me, right? Okay. Anyway, what I wanted to caution you about is I know sometimes we can get so caught up in being on a challenge, caught up in our progress, that we may get invited somewhere and have this temptation like, oh, I don't want to go to that dinner because I know there's nothing there, or I know that I'll go off program. Sometimes people react with this kind of fear. And like, for instance, Laura Wise had an opportunity to go to a class reunion, something like a 20-year class reunion. I said, Laura, you need to do that. It's part of living life, participating socially at events you want to go to. And so you can just go with the strategy of eating something healthy before you go, whether, I would suggest a snack that includes protein, protein in fruit, protein in vegetable, or even a meal replacement. And then that way you arrive there, you're not famished. You arrive there and you can eat moderately and fill your plate once, use a small plate, put your drink in your dominant hand to keep you from reaching for a donut, and, focus on the people that are there. And that way you can really continue to enjoy the social events you're invited to, and you can continue on your journey without feeling fearful that you might torpedo yourself. But does anybody have a comment about that? Christina, you're in the dark. We can hardly see you. Turn on a light, dear. Okay, well, that's a light in the background. It's usually better if there's a light in the front, but let's see. You can unmute yourself. At this point, you would need to unmute yourself to talk to me because I muted the group. So there you go. Well, Christina, how about you unmute yourself and introduce yourself, because I don't think everybody knows you. Can you unmute yourself? It's the lower left corner. Lower left corner. There you go. Okay. Christina, could you introduce yourself? Not everybody has met you, and we've been talking about non-scale victories as well as other victories. And some people, Linda Lamb, who is next to you, if you have the same screen that I have, below me and next to you, in this Brady Bunch kind of makeup, she bought clothes a size smaller this week.
Hey, awesome.
Isn't that awesome? And Ruth, above you, put on some pants that she hadn't worn in a while, and she said they were more loose than when she purchased them.
Wow. Great job.
Yeah. So anyway, Christina, do you have something to share or about being on this journey?
One thing I wanted to share is that it's just a meal. It's only food. It's not your last meal. You'll be able to eat something else. Here comes my little guy.
Hey, Samuel.
Okay, Mommy's
Hi,
on the
Samuel.
Zoom. You need to go back downstairs, okay?
One of these times, maybe we can Zoom and Aunt Pammy can say hi to Samuel,
Okay.
Okay. So you're right. It's just a meal. You're going to be able to eat again in about 3 hours. So keep going.
That was basically all I was going to say was, it's just food. It's not the end of the road. It's not the end of life. It's nothing catastrophic. It's just food.
Mm-hmm. And Lisa Hunter was on a few minutes ago, but she wrote something on the board this week. We talk about putting fuel in our cars and trucks, to make them go. And she was reminding herself that she puts good gasoline in her truck, so why shouldn't she put good fuel in her body, meaning healthy things instead of resorting to some of the snacky things that she had gotten in the habit of eating, before she joined us. So, she was just reminding herself to treat herself gently and kindly and, feed her body with healthy food.
Good deal.
Yeah. So let's see. I know we have about 4 minutes left. Does someone have something they'd like to share tonight as we go into this next week? We're 1/3 down. It says 1/3. I know. I'm thinking it's longer because today's the 10th, and it's a 28-day event. So, we're approximately 1/3 of the way through. Some of us have had progress. So I guess something to think about is what went well? What can I change? As far as, and what can I do differently? So does anybody have a comment about what's going well and what's something they want to change here on out? Unmute yourself, Ann. You'll need to go down to the lower left corner and unmute yourself. You click on the lower left-hand corner with your mouse. Or maybe I can unmute everybody.
It's the lower left corner of the Zoom screen.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute everybody. I've done it. So go ahead, Ann. I went ahead and unmuted everybody.
Well, I realized that a big part of my problem was too much sodium. And that I was eating canned soup, and the bought canned soup is loaded with sodium. So I bought some vegetables, and I made my own.
Right.
And Joseph likes it too.
Yes.
So he's had a problem with eating. I've used frozen mixed vegetables, and I added canned tomatoes that I'd canned, and onions, and Italian seasoning, and chicken stock, low sodium chicken stock, full circle. It just has very low sodium.
Right. So when you're making your own soup, you can control how much sodium there is. And so is one of the things that you're going to be working on is eating more fresh things or more frozen things rather than canned things?
Well, the frozen vegetables I bought had salt in it. So what I did, I washed the vegetables and put them in my colander and rinsed them and then washed them again.
Okay. Well, we've got about 2 minutes left. Does someone else have something they want to share that went well and something they're going to change?
I think something I want to change is that from the time I got out of the hospital, I've just been eating what little bit I want to eat. I haven't planned my meals, and I've got to get back to planning my meals.
That's right. Exactly. Okay. How about you, Ruth? Is there something that you want to share that went well, or what you're going to?
Well, the water is finally becoming a habit. I don't have to think about it or force myself like I was at first. I was telling Becky this morning when we were talking to her about joining in May, and she was real leery about being able to drink that much water. And I said, I was exactly where you are. I mean, you could not have convinced me I could drink 80 ounces of water, much less make a habit of it.
Oh,
But
I love it.
it's great that it's really becoming a habit. And the thing that I still need to change is to remember that just because something is healthy doesn't mean I can eat more of it than I should.
Oh,
Right.
that's good. That's a good point. Now we've got less than a minute, but I want to encourage you that's an example of people around you. When you start getting healthy, people around you start getting healthy. It's contagious. It's contagious for our group. It's contagious for our families, our church families. So with that, I want to wish you all a wonderful week. Have a blessed weekend this weekend with your family, and we'll see you next week on Zoom. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Bye, all.
Oops. Well, actually, yeah.